Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. And I wanted to go into some information that was sent to me by one of the beloved brothers. And as you can see here, the title of this article is Roman Exposure of Infants. Okay. Selling children, humane alternative to abandoning, abortion, or killing. All right. And, as we always discuss, America, all right, which is Babylon the Great, along with the NATO and the EU, all right, are an extension of the ancient Roman Empire. Okay. And as we always say, the image of the beast is speaking right before our very eyes. And that's not merely a picture of white Jesus. All right. The image of the beast is the policies, as we always bring out, the Senate, okay, the Colosseum, the bread and circuses, the architecture, the Bill of Rights, Roman numerals, and many, many more things all go back to the ancient Roman Empire. All right, so a brother sent me some information as a response to this video that I posted on 2 Through an Info yesterday, where women in particular states in Babylon have the option, okay, of abandoning their babies in these particular baby boxes. You see, and we know they're saying this is an alternative to abortion. Okay, but we know these children are, taken off, sold off, sacrificed. All right, and all of the other wicked things that have been coming out. All right, dealing with these Edomites. All right, the whole what's this guy named Epstein ordeal. We the pepperoni pizza ordeal. Where many names, all right, that are in high positions have come up, but it's constantly swept under the rug. But anyway, that vibration, okay, actually goes back to ancient Rome as well. Okay, where here you have millions of children go missing annually. All right, and somehow that's not something, worthy of being put on TV or shutting down the earth for. Anyway, I'm going to go into this article, but first let me play this video that I posted so that you can see how we are living in Rome all over again. And this is more proof, all right, as we always talk about the image of the beast. So I'm going to play this video, and then hopefully we can get some edification out of the articles that I have that the brother sent me, and the water to that brother, and Lord willing, edification can be given.
The woman behind the safe haven baby boxes scattered around Indiana now wants the same options in Kentucky. The boxes allow a new mother to surrender their baby without fear or persecution of judgment. Brooke spoke to the woman behind these life-saving boxes about why they mean so much to her. Well, the safe haven law.
And you see, you always got the Edomite woman at the forefront of things, all right, dealing with children, because they work and operate for the Edomite man, okay, to go around the earth. Remember those commercials where the Edomite woman would be in Africa? Okay, we know how the Clintons travel to these different places along with, it's not just the 2 Clintons. They got a gang of people with them, and they go to these different parts, these different countries where, either there's poor Jake or poor heathen. All right. And, they get on the TV for just $1 a day. You can say, then they show the Africans, the Hamites with the big head, the big stomach. OK. But behind closed doors, they're working wickedness. All right. Remember what happened in Haiti when that earthquake happened. All right. It came out that you had groups of Edomites going over there. All right. Trafficking children, harvesting organs, and many more things. All right. So after all of these devils have done to us, you think that they're putting these baby boxes in these particular underprivileged neighborhoods where Jake is, all right? Because you got the abortion clinics, they're set up where Jake live. Okay, they're in the malls, they're by the fast food joints, which we'll get into fast food as well. That goes back to Rome as well, but pretty much, it's another opportunity to take advantage of our people and their ignorance. So the alternative to aborting the child, which they're even fighting to abort the child even after it's 2 years old, you can, murder the child. But anyway, is these baby boxes. And then you have this so-called white woman, these two, and they always come, all right, and they're always at the forefront of stuff dealing with children because people really think that they're innocent. But the Edomite woman is just as much as the devil as the Edomite man. Just wanted to put that out there.
Has been around for the last 20 years where a woman can walk into any fire station, police station, or hospital and surrender their child, no questions asked. And that works about 50 to 70% of the time. Monica Kelsey says that number could be much higher if safe havens were completely anonymous. It differs by state. It's why she designed the Safe Haven Baby Box about 5 years ago. A safe surrender without fear of persecution. I think that is part of why we've had 0 dead babies in our state and a record number of babies in our boxes, is because women know that this option's available to them. For baby Mila's birth mom and
look at the video that popped up. The slain of the Lord shall be many. Because really what our people are doing, all right, when they're dropping their children off to these boxes, or when they're going to these clinics, is they're sacrificing their seed to Molech. Okay, as a matter of fact, when you get Leviticus, the 20th chapter, and all of these things are tied to idol worship. This is how these heathen, all right, deal with their gods. Now, Babylon the Great, which is the revival of Rome, is known as what? The mother of all harlots. So all of these gods operate here today. As we know, the Canaanites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, they dealt, the Amalekites, okay, when you do the research, they dealt deeply with this particular god. Now, this is the book of Leviticus 20:2. Again, thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed to Molech, he shall surely be put to death, and the people of the land shall stone him with stones. All right, so just imagine the judgment that will be going on. All right, if the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai were implemented here in Babylon. Okay, but we'll go to this word Molech. All right, real quick. It's all right, Malak. It's king. All right, but this is their version and their God. All right, it says, the God of the Ammonites and of the Phoenicians, right? Also the Canaanites, the Amalekites. When you do the history, it says, to whom some Israelites sacrificed their infants in the valley of Hinnom. Okay, and it's well known that this is what the elites do. Okay, and the Lord told us Israelites, okay, when we got amongst these heathen, that we weren't supposed to take part in the practices that they took part in. Okay, Deuteronomy 12. Okay, and 29, as we were going into the promised land. All right, who were there before we got there? The Canaanites, the Amalekites, and all of these ites. And on our way to the promised land, all of these heathen. Okay, and this is Deuteronomy 12:29. When the Lord thy God shall cut off the nations from before thee, whither thou goest to possess them, okay, and thou succeedest them and dwellest in their land, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. Now, when you go to the history, real quick. When you deal with Margaret Sanger, who, was the head of the whole eugenics thing, and they found out that it was a ploy to, eradicate the seed of Israel. Okay. She went to black preachers, okay, to first have this notion that it is okay for our women to do this, to go ahead and take their, go to these Planned Parenthood, which there's no plan to be a parent. The plan is to off the child. All right, we'll get back to the video and to the article, but I wanted to bring these things out as well. Okay, this is how these nations serve their gods. And see, Jake, okay, Psalms 106 and 35, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works and served their idols, which were a snare unto them. And Jake now leads the league. Okay, now you have all nations of women marching and screaming for this, and even the men. But who is affected primarily the most is our people. Okay, it says you're not supposed to serve Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai as the heathen serve their gods. And that's what happened. Margaret Sanger went to these black preachers, and then, because she said the way into the Negro mind is via spiritual guidance. So these black preachers from the Christian church, okay, started to tell our people that it was okay to do this and push all of this garbage. Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God, for every abomination of Yahweh which he hated have they done unto their gods, for even their sons and daughters have they burnt in the fire to their gods. That was a big practice amongst, okay, these heathen. Okay, we're not supposed to be as these heathen. As a matter of fact, let me get the law, because we do have a law that deals with, all right, abortion. Okay, and this is why responsibility with sex should be understood and taught. All right, but we're in Babylon the Great, all right, where everything is based upon do as thou wilt and on lust. The family structure is broken. So what you have is a bunch of, irresponsible young men and women just running around doing as thou wilt. Okay, and we partook in that. All right, that's why now that we have this knowledge, we got to make better decisions. All right. It says, all right, because they at these marches, they screaming, well, what if I'm raped? Well, that's probably 8% of the cases where the woman is pregnant because she was raped. The majority of them are people hooking up, okay, with people they don't know anything about, or people they couldn't see themselves with, and then they get mad when nature takes its course. So they have the option to do what they had the option to do in ancient Rome. We'll show you. Anyway, this is Exodus 23 and 26. It says, there shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. Let's read this in the NLT. I never did that. It said, there will be no miscarriages or infertility in your land, because we were commanded to be what? Fruitful and multiply. But when you look up this word cast their young, so we always bring this out. This is shakal. It says to be bereaved, to make childless, to miscarry, to make childless, to cause barrenness, to show barrenness, or abortion. So the scriptures speak against that practice. And why do you think Esau, Edom make sure, all right, to put these things in your neighborhood, all right, because ultimately they want you separated from your power. That's why the slain of the Lord shall be many, all right. And we had brothers and sisters that, partook in these practices, all right. And this is the importance of Yahweh Shai. See, you had brothers who may have paid for them, and you had sisters who you may have, 2, 3, 4, 5, but now that you have an understanding, you repented. But do you see the filthiness that we were involved in, that we thought was just a normal part of life before we had this knowledge? Anyway, let's keep going.
There was no other option after delivering Her baby girl at home all alone.
She deserved the world, and so much more.
Once her baby was placed inside, the box automatically locked and multiple alarm systems notified the on-duty first responders and 911 right away. They were there within seconds.
There were no cameras or anyone I had to justify my decision to.
You think they showing up there in seconds for care for these children? No. Wickedness is being worked. Remember, America is also, and these beast system nations and NATO nations, they're all big. Look at what was revealed about Ukraine. They're all big pedo rings. Okay? And they do more than sex. It's rituals, all kinds of torture. Anyway.
I also didn't want them talking me out of the decision that took me so long to make. I had time to say my I love yous and goodbyes.
Today, close to 60 baby boxes are installed at fire stations and hospitals across Arkansas, Ohio, Florida, and Indiana. And there's a House bill in Kentucky that could make it happen here, too. It passed unanimously in the House and is now making its way through the Senate.
I can't wait to see Kentucky adopt this and see how many babies we can save in the state of Kentucky. Because right now, babies are being placed in dumpsters that have no alarms. They have no heating elements. And that's what women are choosing. And so we have to give them another option, another safe, legal option.
Kelsey says fire departments from 3 Kentucky cities have already requested one. Even more donors are stepping up to foot the $10,000 bill.
The people in the community are the real heroes here that are stepping up and saying, no baby's going to die in my community if I have anything to do with it.
A cause that hits close to home for Kelsey, who was conceived out of rape. Her birth mother abandoned her just 2 hours after giving birth. Kelsey says today, mothers now have a safe place to fall.
We're not here to shame you. We're not here to judge you. We're here to walk alongside you to make sure that you keep your child safe and that your child's life goes on along with your own.
Brooke Hash, WHAS 11 News.
The beloved elder Monaghan people taking their seeds to the fire station is almost like sacrificing to Molech via fire all over again. Yep. And we're in Rome all over again. We're in Canaan all over again. We're in all of these various ancient different societies all over again. That's why when you go, let's just get it. Okay, because all of those gods are back. Remember, in ancient Rome, they had the pantheon, pan, all gods. Okay, theos, God. Revelation 17:5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. All right, all of those different ideologies, all right, that are used for our people to commit adultery against the Most High. Babylon the Great is the mother of them, all of them. See how that's read in the NLT. A mysterious name was written on her forehead, Babylon the Great, mother of all prostitutes and obscenities of the world. Let's look up this word. So all of that wickedness that went on in ancient societies and how they practiced, and worshiped their gods, it's here today. Okay? And sinning against the Most High as the woman of the Most High is likened unto what? Whoring yourself out. And that's in many scriptures. Hosea, the 2nd chapter, is one. Obscenity, basically wickedness. See if it comes up. It said obscene language, images, immorality, lewdness. So, let's see if there's more here. What happened when the emergency services are no longer available? Just drop your baby off in a box.
The Safe Haven Baby Box organization staffs a 24-hour hotline for women to talk to a trained professional as they consider their options. So far, 10 babies have been surrendered in these boxes, 5 of them in Indiana just last year. Another 97 babies were handed over because of the hotline, which has received 8,000 calls in the last 5 years.
Yeah, we know it's probably higher numbers, but the majority of them are actually, aborted before they're even born. Anyway, Roman exposure of infants, selling children, humane alternative to abandoning, abortion, or killing. All right. So let me just jump to the point. It says the practical reason for exposure of infants in Rome. It says if infant exposure was suitable for their legendary founders, who were the Roman people, to say it was wrong for their offspring. Exposure allowed poor people to get rid of extra mouths to feed. Now, is that not the mindset of the majority of the women, if not all, who go and do that? All right, I got to live my life. This is going to make my life harder. Okay? And you got men, I was just looking at a video earlier, you have men who pretty much are going up to these, the women, asking them, about their mindset concerning this. And the way he's asking the questions is proving them to be hypocrites. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. This is a good video. As a matter of fact, I believe I posted it in the community section here. Yeah, check out this video. All right, it's it's pretty good. Creators of life, as women say that they are. All right, now the women in the ancient world, like the woman who saw her 7, I believe, or 4 sons, be mauled to death by the Greeks in the book of 2nd Maccabees, the 7th chapter. She said, she told as she prayed to the Lord, she said, "You put these lives in my stomach." She wasn't boasting, walking around saying, "I'm the creator of life." No, you carry life. You're a vessel chosen to nourish life. All right, but this is a good video if you want to look it up. I'm not going to play it, but let's go back here. So exposure allowed poor people to get rid of extra mouths to feed, especially the mouths of baby girls, all right, who were also a dowry liability. All right, the dowry in the ancient world was when, you paid the father, all right, how many amount of shekels, to take his daughter as your wife. All right. But there you go. Poor people were able to get rid of extra mouths to feed. It said children who were imperfect in some way were always exposed, supposedly according to the dictates of the 12 tablets as they go into ancient Roman history. It says exposure was also used to get rid of children whose paternity was unclear or undesirable. But the exposure wasn't the only method that was available. Roman women employed contraceptives, all right, just like in Egypt. And guess what they used as a contraceptive in Egypt? Now, what is a contraceptive? Something that ultimately is used as a means to stop you from getting pregnant. They use alligator dung in Egypt. Look it up. They use alligator dung in Egypt as a form of contraceptive. Here you have birth control and all of these various things that destroy women. Okay, and don't you know the Heavenly Father has natural contraceptives in the earth? Okay, neem oil. Okay, Negro pepper, and so forth. Okay, but Esau ain't gonna promote that. He's gonna promote what's gonna keep you going to the doctor, all right, to use your body as a racket. Okay? Anyway, that's how you know this is Egypt all over again, too. Because the birth control was a big thing in ancient Egypt. Okay? And when the Greeks and the Romans were in power, who did they go to and study their gods? The Egyptians. So Roman women employed contraceptives and received abortions as well. All right. It says the paterfamilias technically had the right to get rid of any infant under his power. Okay. So there was the particular emperors passed laws, okay, to make it okay for women, okay, to just rid their offspring. Okay, just as we see here happening in America today. And there's other stuff in the article, but I just wanted to stick to that. Now, the brother also sent me this one. Okay, infanticide. All right, like you have suicide. Okay, and it says infanticide in the ancient world is a big word that hides the Latin word side in it. Side in Latin means killer or the act of killing. Infanticide, all right, is the killing / murder of children. Suicide is the act of one killing oneself. Sui in the Latin means oneself. Homicide is also an act, you see the word side there, of inhuman. And the fact that we have all of these Latin, okay, terms hitting in the English language lets you know we're in Rome as well, because that was the language they spoke, was Latin. Okay? And a lot of them, all languages stem from the Hebrew. Okay? And there's still remnants of Hebrew, all right, in particular words. Like banana, that's a Hebrew word. Anyway, it says it's the act of a human killing another human. All right. But for some reason, okay, these women don't think that what they're doing is likened unto killing, or it's really murdering. Anyway, it says, then there's the word for murdering your living son or daughter. All right. Filicide, from the Latin word for son, philis, and for daughter, philia. Roman law, religion, and the entire ethos of the ancient world saw nothing morally wrong with infanticide, or with abandoning their newborns on the dung heaps or garbage dumps in the cities. Now, like Brenda had a baby with Tupac. Remember that? She just threw the baby in a dumpster, and that's a common practice here in Babylon the Great. Okay? But here it is. Now they're saying, well, you know, in the video that I had up, you know, pretty much you can just put them in a box. All right? Now, it sounds nice, like they care, but what do you think these people, what do you think these Edomites go do with the children? Okay? And it's coming out that they love drinking baby blood. And where in the hell are you getting this baby blood? They put baby blood in their facial products. This is how the elite get down. Oprah is even boasting in that and laughing about it. On the Steve Harvey show, he had some heathen in there talking about that's what they do. And it's like a ongoing joke here in Babylon the Great. Anyway, because they're very sensitive on that topic. Let's go back. So Roman law and religion and the entire ethos of the ancient world saw nothing morally wrong with infanticide or with abandoning their newborns on the dung heaps or garbage dumps of the cities. Okay, now in the ancient world, our people got into that practice, okay, with going to the Valley of Hinnom. As a matter of fact, let's get that. I believe that's in the book of Jeremiah. There you go. Yeah, Solomon even built temples to this God. Whew. This is Jeremiah 32 and 35. It says, and they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to cause their sons and daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech. Okay? And it's interesting, the fire department shows up to get those babies. Hey, the spirit is cold. It says, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my mind that they should do this abomination to cause Judah to sin. Okay? And now, therefore, thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, concerning this city wherein ye say, it shall be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon by the sword and by famine and by pestilence. So as we go out and prophesy of the harsh things that are coming, Okay, what you niggas are doing is a big part of that. Because it's our people, all right, along with the heathen at these marches screaming. But it's all women. It ain't just the the so-called black, Hispanic, native. It's all women who are emboldened in this spirit. Okay? But see, the law, statutes, and commandments were given unto you Israelites. You're supposed to be a holy and separate people. You see, but what this proves is that we're in Rome all over again. And I had this other article as well, okay, called Feminism and Abortion, going into, some history. And let me bring this up. I just hit to the point. It says in ancient Rome, for example, a great many political, economic, and religious powers resided in the male heads of the tribes, clans, and households. Among these was the power to commit infanticide if a newborn was deemed healthy and supportable by the paterfamilias. It was initiated into the family with proper rites. If not, it was smothered or drowned. Damn. In Rome, infanticide was not considered murder any more than abortion is considered murder by the majority of Americans today. Okay? All right. And it's even worse here, all right, because there were particular stipulations back then. But the fact is, it went on. Okay? Now, by the time Jake started to come on the scene, okay, it says Christianity, all right, but around the time, the so-called Holy Roman Empire, okay, around the time it says Christianity was taking hold, because remember, Esau fell, you see, for a period of 1,000 years, the Western Roman Empire, and that gave birth to what? The Eastern Roman Empire, which is known as the Holy Roman Empire, which Jake was at the forefront of that. And we've been so beaten down. You tell Jake that, they don't believe they ruled anything. We ran a society. We had a king. No, yes, man. Around the time Christianity was taking hold, attitudes towards this method of destroying unwanted life were changing. That's because Jake came up in there. The poor had to get rid of their unwanted children because they couldn't afford them, but they had not been allowed to sell them formally, so instead they were leaving them to die or to be used to economic advantage by their families. The first emperor, Constantine, which was a Jake, an Israelite, okay, in AD 313 authorized the sale of infants, okay, which he was wicked, all right, but, he was an Israelite, okay? So he's like, look, you're not going to be able to kill it, but you can sell it, all right? It says, while selling one's children seems horrible to us, the alternative had been death or enslavement, all right, in what? The pagan Roman Empire. It says, in the one case, worse, or in the other, the same. So the sale of infants offered some hope, especially since Roman society, in Roman society, some enslaved people could hope to buy their freedom. Even with legal permission to sell one's offspring, exposure didn't end overnight. So about 374, it had been legally forbidden. All right, that's because Jake was ruling. That's the Eastern Roman Empire, but you can look more of that up. And I think it brings it up here in this article as well. It just goes through some history. It says the Christian idea that each individual person has worth because they were created by God, which the scriptures tell you children are, the fruit of the womb is the Lord's reward. People are born to ultimately fulfill prophecy. All right. Now the Lord allows these things to happen. All right. But overall, it's not supposed to be that way. But we live in a flawed, wicked society where these things just flourish themselves. It says, the Christian idea that each individual person has worth because they were created by God was foreign to the lies of pagan society, where the state, the tribe, or collectives was the only value they knew. So, yeah, Jake kind of got that practice of infanticide out of there. It was like, well, maybe you can sell them, all right, and you can look up more history on that. But I just thought that was interesting because we're back in Rome, all right. Revelation 13:3, it says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, all right. That's the Western Roman Empire falling, and his deadly wound was healed, okay. The Renaissance, and all the world wondered after the beast, okay. And what does Renaissance mean? Rebirth. All you have to do is just type it in. Not an article, dummy. Definition. Is that even how you spell it? It says, Renaissance definition is a rebirth or revival. Okay. So when they were revived, the Edomite, pretty much these ways started to pour themselves in the earth again. And here you have Babylon the Great, okay, where it's just at its height, okay. It says the humanistic revival of classical art, architecture, literature, and learning that originated in Italy in the 14th century and later spread throughout Europe. All right, and eventually it led all the way up, okay, to the French, the Spanish, the British, and America. This is the rebirth of Esau Edom. Okay, so it was a transition from the medieval to the modern times. Everything we know and see is based upon this rebirth. Okay, it just means rebirth, and that's the deadly wound being healed. Okay, and as you go down, and all he did was blasphemy against the Most High, he blasphemed his name, blasphemed the tabernacle, blasphemed the angels. He made war with the saints and overtook us. Okay, but as you get to verse 11, all right, Rome being rebirthed is complete by America, Babylon the Great, which is that little horn spoken of in Daniel the 7th chapter, because you have the fourth beast, which is Rome. The fourth beast fell, all right, but it was rebirthed into the earth via the Renaissance period. And what does the Lord say about that? Let's get the book of Malachi, chapter 1. Malachi, chapter 1 and 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. And that's going to happen. And when that happens, we're going to know the Lord hated this people. He's going to destroy Babylon the Great, okay, and take these people down. And that's in Isaiah the 13th chapter, that America will be a waste for the dragons, Babylon the Great, okay? Because Jake don't get it. They don't understand why Esau's ruling, why they're at the bottom. So they're like, well, how does the Lord love us? But see, you have to come into the congregation of life of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. As Asaph, I believe that's his name, he said, when I came into the congregation of the Lord, then understood I therein. Verse 4 says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Let's look up this word return. Okay. We will return and rebuild the desolate places. And that's what they did at the time of the Renaissance. All right. Shawab, to return, to turn back, to return. Okay. Repetition, to bring back, to restore. And that's what happened at the time of the Renaissance. Okay? Rebirth. Revival. Okay. So yes, they've built. All right. They came out of the caves. They came out of that caveman state, and the Lord, through prophecy, allowed them to build. Let's read it again. Whereas Edom said, "We are impoverished, but we will rebuild." All right. And we will rebuild the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw it down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh have indignation forever. And that's coming. Okay. So they've rebuilt that Roman way. Okay. It's been brought back into the world. Okay. Via the rebirth. All right. The Renaissance that led all the way up to Babylon the Great, the NATO and the EU. Okay. So Revelation 13 and 11 is the full rebirth of Rome. And it tells you what they're going to do at the end of their rulership. And they're going to bring that charagma. All right. But when you read Revelation 13 and 15, it says, and he had power to give life to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay. And you're seeing, if you're not down with the ways of Rome, if you're not down with the ways of Babylon, people, you're starting to get a evil eye towards you. You're starting to have labels put on you. But America has given life to the image of the beast. And who would have known that abortion was a part of that? Infanticide. And that's a big thing, man. Okay. As a matter of fact, I believe post-birth abortion bill. Just look that up. Yeah, well, I mean, we don't have to find exactly where it is, but yeah, this is April 24th of 2022. Yeah, even DuckDuckGo is now having fact checks. California's plan, post-birth abortion. This is Rome. Infanticide. Colorado law could allow post-birth abortion up to 28 days. Okay. So they're saying, well, put them in the box. Put them in the box. See? So we ain't got to read all into that. But we're in Rome all over again. This is the image. The image of this is a part of the image of the beast. Okay? This is it. All right? And right after you have your because you got women on the internet filming their abortion. As a matter of fact, let's look that up. We ain't got to play it, but no, you have women, going, giving their stories, but you have women showing themselves. But you have women, going through the steps and showing, how I feel afterward. But after you do that, you can just go get some fast food. Right? There's an article I found, fast food in ancient Rome. All right. What was the Roman, all right, thermopolium? Ancient Rome had small restaurants designed for one purpose only, to serve affordable hot takeaway food to the Roman society. And that's the spirit of Esau. It says, many today believe that the concept of snack bars, semi-finished products, and fast food in general is a result of modern living conditions. The busy work schedule of some and the desire for quick profits of others. However, historical data show that such analogs of the fast food industry are common in ancient Rome and Greece. And who are those societies primarily ran by? Esau. Especially in ancient Rome, the larger percentage of the population was poor and could not afford expensive food. Okay, from the taberna or products to cook, and that's Jake today. Okay, where do you see the majority of fast food places set up? In the hood. Okay. It said this is why the thermopolium was created, a place where anyone could go to eat warm food at an affordable price or simply take it home. In other words, this is the ancient Roman equivalent to modern day fast food. Okay, and that's it. They're showing it. And this is the spirit of Esau Edom. Because remember, in Genesis, the 25th chapter, and the 29th verse. So let me read this in the NLT. I never. This is Genesis 25 and 29. One day when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau arrived home from the wilderness exhausted and hungry. He's a man of the field. He's always in the field. And to this day, Esau said to Jacob, I'm starved. Give me some of that red stew. For this is how Esau got another name, Edom, which means red. All right. All right, Jacob replied, but trade me your rights as the firstborn son. Okay. And this is just how the Lord set it up. It says, look, I'm dying of starvation. Esau said, what good is the birthright to me now? And this shows you what type of man he is. He doesn't think how his actions now are going to affect his posterity, his offspring. He's a seller of his soul. It says, but Jacob said, first, you must swear that your birthright is mine. So Esau swore an oath, thereby selling all his rights as the firstborn to his brother Jacob. Dummy. And Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew, and Esau ate the meal. Then he got up and left and showed contempt for his rights as the firstborn. But then you got niggas popping up. Well, did not Jacob steal Esau's birthright? No, he gave it away. He yiquabbed him. But it was set up in the spirit because the birthright belonged to Jacob in the first place. But Esau wanted that food fast. He didn't want to wait. And now you got fast food restaurants everywhere in Babylon the Great and around the world. Because that's the spirit of ancient Rome. Okay? Oh, man. Wow. In general, the main purpose of these restaurants was to sell food for home. Historians specialized in the study of eating habits and the way of life of the ancient Romans are convinced that the Romans, as well as modern, did not have enough time, but mostly financially could not afford to prepare their own food at home. That is why the poor inhabitants of the eternal city relied on bakeries and bakery products and the thermopoliums as for fast food. Let's look this up. I ain't never heard of that, but probably like these little, shopping centers, Let's see here. Literally a place where hot food is sold, commercial establishment, and so forth. All right. Fast food. So you go get you an abortion and then just take your ass to McDonald's. The menu of the Roman, yada, yada, yada. So, they said the bad reputation of the Roman thermopolium. Surprisingly, Fast food restaurants of this type in ancient Rome usually enjoyed a bad reputation because they often served as gathering places for all sorts of rascals, gamblers, and alcoholics. And when when you used to go to McDonald's, it was always a nigga begging, you know. We in Rome all over again, man. Point blank, period. The wealthier Romans treated these establishments with contempt and criticized them, but from time to time they also ordered something to eat on foot. And don't fast food restaurants have a bad reputation here? So I just wanted to bring these things out, man. So, yeah, man, Rome and America, all right, they're similar in a lot of ways. They have some differences as well, but they're similar in a lot of ways. Let me just read this article. It says, let's begin by looking at some of the similarities. Dominant powers. Rome and America are the most powerful actors in their world. Okay, America is Rome all over again. Their power includes both military might, blessed with the sword, and the soft power of language, culture, commerce, technology, and ideas. Okay. It says they're approximately equal in size. You can look that up. Rome and America are comparable in physical size. Global influence. Both Rome and America create global structures, administrative, economic, military, cultural, and the rest of the world and their own citizens come to take for granted as gravity and photosynthesis are taken for granted. Okay, you cannot be in America and still see the American influence. That's how it was in ancient Rome. Culturally similar. Romans and Americans didn't. Let's start over. Romans and Americans can't get enough of laws and lawyers and lawsuits. Oh boy, you got all kind. You got even TV shows dedicated to that. It says they relished the ritual humiliation of public figures, memes. Okay, that's all people do is get on the internet and talk shit about particular people. Dude get knocked out. How they mocking Biden. Americans through comedy and satire, talk radio, and court TV. The Romans through vicious satire, to be sure. And they had comedians in ancient Rome as well, and rap music, and they shot dice. It says, but also during the Republic by means of censorial nota, the public airing by name by name of every great men of the time should be ashamed of. So they love shaming people. That's Babylon the Great as well. It says the chosen people both see themselves as a chosen people and both see their national character as exceptional. That's the Edomites. Okay, but for a period they were down, okay, during the Dark Ages. They call it the Dark Ages. But at the end of the day, they rose back up, but they see themselves as the chosen people. All right. So when you go to other similarities, the decline of the family, which led to spiritual decline, which led to the fall. Okay. Idolatry. It says, let's read this. The final stage is judgment. The final stage is judgment. God's judgment rightly falls upon those who practice idolatry and immorality. Certainly an eternal judgment awaits those who are guilty. Babylon is going to go be destroyed, and y'all Edomites are going into captivity. Okay, there's no eternal punishment. It says, let's see here. But a social judgment occurs when God gives nation over to sinful practices, and that's what's happening. We're looking at judgment. All of these things we see are a part of judgment, which is going to lead to the destruction. Notice that this progression is not unique to Hellenistic world, to the Hellenistic world the Apostle Paul was living in. The progression from idolatry to sexual perversion to anarchy to judgment is found throughout history. In the times of Noah and Lot, There was the adultery of greed. There was sexual perversion and promiscuity. All right. There was anarchy and violence, and there was judgment throughout the history. The nation of Israel. There was adultery, sexual perversion, anarchy, in which each person did that which was right in his own eyes, and then finally judgment. Are there parallels between Rome and America? Absolutely. I have quoted from secular authors, Christian authors, and a writer of the New Testament. All seem to point, all right, between parallels between America and Rome. So you have the decline of the family, which leads to the decline of spirituality, no order, which leads to destruction. And let's finish it off here. Luke 17th chapter. Okay. The mindset of the people before the flood. We're witnessing all of that. People are proud, boasters, heady, high-minded. Okay. Let's see here. Because they were asking him, when is the end going to come? The second coming foretold. And what did he say? We're going to be rejected. And that's happening. It says, as it was, verse 26, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and a flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise, okay, and the scriptures tell you there was violence in the earth in those days. Pride, okay? Likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot, they ate, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. All right, but the same day Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. And the scriptures say, pride goeth before destruction. And what month are we in? All right, so we'll leave it there. I just wanted to bring those things out, man. Hopefully I'll edify. Shalom. That which is then is now. Okay? As a matter of fact, we'll end it off on that. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, I believe. Oh, boy. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, the thing that had been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It had been done of old time already, which was before us. Okay? So hopefully I'll edify it on to the next.